were tired last night, emotionally drained. More specifically, LeBron. You may recall he and his wife did have a baby earlier this week, and he was literally playing with the weight of a city on his shoulders. So the question is, can they turn things around against Derrick Rose and the Bulls, or will they open the season 0-2? Stephen A. Smith, quite simply, who wins tonight?
I'm picking the Chicago Bulls to win this game. I clearly expect the Cleveland Cavaliers to play better basketball than they did last night. And obviously that would be good enough to make amends for their performance against the New York Knicks last night. But these are the Chicago Bulls we're talking about here. It's the team I'm picking to represent the East in the NBA Finals. Unless, with Derrick Rose capable of playing the way that he's playing, with the rest of those guys playing the way that they've been playing, and Aaron Brooks coming off the bench, and Paul Gasol giving them an offensive dimension on the front line, with Joakim Noah still being able to do what he does, with Taj Gibson coming off the bench to do what he does, with Mike Dunleavy Jr. willing to sacrifice his offensive game just to D up Melo in game one. Definitely, I think he'll be getting his shot out in game two. I just look at the Chicago Bulls as being a team that's deep, that's familiar with one another, that knows how to play together, that defends exceptionally well, and obviously is exceptionally well coached. And even though Coach Thibodeau has tried to downplay it in terms of the significance of the game, I think even he recognizes how important this game is going to be to the city. It's just another regular season game to some degree, but to another degree, Chicago recognizes the fact that everybody's been talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers as if it's a foregone conclusion that they will be the ones going to the NBA Finals. And this city, this organization, and these players firmly believe there's an alternative plan in place, and it absolutely positively belongs to them. So I look at it from that perspective, and I think tonight is one of those message-sending performances where the Chicago Bulls step out onto the floor on their home turf and reminds the world, excuse me, all this talk about LeBron and the Big Three, you better ask somebody. You better be thinking about us.
I'm completely with you on this one, and I'm starting more and more to like your pick of Chicago coming out of the East. I still think the Cavs will eventually be very good. But tonight, they are going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. A mere 24 hours after what LeBron James called one of the biggest spectacles in the history of sports. Well, that's like playing on some big Monday night football stage and then having to travel and play the next night. So I think not only LeBron will be a little drained tonight, I think his team will be a little mentally spent tonight. And I am with you on what I saw so far from Chicago. I didn't see Powell coming with 21 and 11. Talk about Powell. That is a whole new dimension for these Bulls. I did not see Aaron Brooks coming. I mean, all of a sudden, after just one game, you'd have to start throwing him in the sixth man of the year conversation, because I think he could be that explosive off that bench. And remember, Stephen A., David Blatt, the new coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, has now coached all of what? One NBA game. And did you see the comments after the game from one Sean Marion, who was not all that pleased that he got in a mere 10 minutes of that game last night? So all of a sudden, welcome to the NBA, Coach Blatt. You're going to have to start juggling some balls. Mike Miller ought to get some more minutes tonight, I hope. I'd like to see him on the floor. And Blatt admitted that he and Kyrie were going back and forth, alternating calling plays, and they weren't really on the same page. Well, that's got to get fixed, but it's going to take a little bit of time, and there's not enough time to turn around to play this team in that building on this night.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Don't have much to add.
Let's move on to another